Okay, as usual, I always ask the existential question, just who is this guy? Chuck Friedman, our special speaker of the day. Well, this is how this guy gets around Ann Arbor. Actually, more or less, this is him being a pretty good snowboarder. So it was no trouble getting him to take seriously coming to HICSS. In fact, we got him here a few days early to be able to really understand the difference between Hawaii and Ann Arbor. Although today it's not that hard to tell the difference. But give me a break. What has he done? What does he stand for? Why are we really here? Well, in one way, as you go to Google, there does seem to be a consistent answer. You find a strange equation being crafted. Shows up many things he seems to have done. But what does it mean? Well, it turns out for those in health informatics, it is almost considered, if you wish, a fundamental theorem in informatics. A fundamental theorem of informatics, you might ask? What could that possibly mean? Well, as I say, it sounds cool, but before we understand what that theorem is about, let's ask what, in fact, has he done? Here, for example, is a classic for those of us in this field that I think is almost be called the Bible, if you wish, in terms of how do you look at new methods in terms of biomedical informatics. This is now printed in a second edition in many languages. But more to the point, recently he's left the government and moved to Ann Arbor and heads up both the two departments in two schools, the School of Information and the School of Health, in terms of trying to build a new program, a master's degree program I'll come back to in a second. But before he did that, he was the chief science officer that actually did something that every one of us in this room has actually been impacted by one way or another. Although you won't find this on his resume, many of us think of him as the primary architect behind the HITECH Act that had to do with building in the entire electronic record health system in the act that Obama signed in order to jumpstart the economy some time ago. And on top of that, he's also been the main architect behind the learning health system, which is what he'll probably talk about today, I believe. On top of that, he does get around a bit. This is his being congratulated by the President Clinton on the learning health system that we'll hear a little bit about today. But I have to say, that's not the thing that makes him most proud. But his pride and joy is the creation of a health informatics program, master's degree program at the University of Michigan. And this is his first graduating class that he takes great pride and joy in. So with that, let's please welcome Chuck up here.